Blade here. Can you guys hear me? Let's make sure that we're good to go. Let's get over here in the chat room just really quick. All right, good deal. Let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to put this on live alert, so I'm not looking at main chat at the moment. First things we want to do is look at the ES futures. Like I said in our morning note, we've had a blueprint here for a long time. This green box has actually been here, I want to say for about 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month, somewhere in there. And prices finally came back to that green box, and lo and behold, bids did come in. Bids meaning buyers did step in at that area. Now, I want you to go ahead and take a look here. You can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so you can see that tap right here at the line. This was our target. We talked about this yesterday, 3777. All right. And nice move there. This is also the decelerator. So price is above that decelerator, comes into our level, and then goes bid. What are we expecting for today? This is really important. So traders we want to buy the dip, and that's a great thing if you bought at the green box. But what if you're coming into the market and you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to buy now, right? We got to have a plan for that. Not everybody wakes up super early or has an alert set, so you got to have some sort of plan. The first thing I want to show you is on the daily, on the ES futures, we are still underneath the EMA cloud here, all right? And we are still underneath the line in the sand. The line in the sand is 38.18, and we'd like to see bulls get above there. Let's go ahead and go over to our note really quick, just so we can read over that, okay? On open, I would not be surprised to see a scare tactic. It doesn't have to be a deep pull, okay? But because we're so used to the market pulling back, right? It would be in the best interest of manipulation in futures, okay, to pull back and kind of get you a little worried. So we want to talk about those levels really quick, okay? Bulls need 38.30, okay? From the drop that we've recently had, the bears remain in charge until we can get above 38.30. Please remember that, okay? This is a nice bounce. It's coming from a nice level, but it's just somewhat of a small relief bounce. So how does that why does this matter to the rest of the market? Well, because ES is our driver, right? We start to look at adding into long positions as we come into that green box, but we want to make sure that price discovery is over and that sentiment comes back in. At the moment, this is the first touch of it, so we have to be patient. Okay, we have to be patient. So I'm thinking here this morning, at least an hour before I start to get aggressive on the long side. I went ahead, I have added into a few or just one trade so far, and that was Tiger. Okay, so I went ahead and added. We are at medium size. All right, and I would expect to be able to add twice more if we continue down. All right, and that would put me at a full allocation at that time. Now, if for some reason we never head back into the green box and we continue to move back up towards 38.90, then I'll add as we move over important levels such as 38.30. Okay? All right, so on the 4 hour, if you're not looking at the bigger picture, everybody's different. I want you to notice that we are still underneath the cloud. And again, this EMA here is pretty confluent with that 38.30 area that I'm talking about. So again, if you're going to do anything today, I would set an alert at 38.30. So let's go ahead and do this together. I'm going to create that alert at or above. Okay. And that just means the bulls are in charge as long as we can hold that level. And then what I would do is set an alert right underneath that 3777. So let's go ahead and do that. And basically, between these two alerts, there's nothing to do. All right, you're going to find a little bit of choppiness out there in the market. All right. All right, let's go ahead and move on. So let's go over here into our daily focus. And let's start up here at DKNG. All right. DKNG. Over on the left, let's go ahead and talk about this. We have the daily, and then over here on the right, I have the 4 hour. On the 4H, we are above the cloud. We had a little bit of news, but one thing that I want to show you is that price came right into our projected buyer zone. Now, I put this out there before it happened, okay? So you can see this arrow on our scripts. This is identifying levels of support. We're looking to go long when price comes back to there. But again, just like the ES, if you didn't take the trade yesterday before close, or you didn't take it this morning, then you kind of left without a plan. This is my plan going forward for DKNG. It did push up towards 72, which was the target, and it did pull back as expected. And now we have this support. The plan for right now, if I'm looking to take this trade, it needs to stay above the 4-hour EMA cloud. Okay, and I want to wait for about an hour. If I cannot wait for an hour because I'm human and because I do this a lot and I jump into a trade because I get excited, then just think smaller allocation. Okay, smaller allocation here, or just look at it as a starter. All right. And if it continues to move, and then you look over at the ES futures and the NASDAQ and the YM, the Dow futures and all that, and everything's starting to move up, then we can add into the position and looking to trim into 72.14. I'd expect it to pull back here. And once it goes bid back over 72.14, I can add back in, bring those stops up, and then ride this into 74 and potentially 76. Again, waiting and making sure that we can hold the support level and this EMA cloud. Let's go ahead and move over here into our next one, which is going to be MARA. Okay. Mara was yesterday. Okay. So Mara was yesterday, and we came right into the trendy edge and it resisted. Now we're in this gray box here. All right. We're underneath the 4-hour EMA. Nothing to do here until it can get back above the accelerator. All right. Till we can get above the accelerator. And we had pointed out yesterday here at the trendy edge that it was resistance, and it continues to be resistance. Okay, so just we did not take this trade yet, but it's still definitely on the radar. Let's go ahead and move over here to Apple. All right, so what's Apple doing? It's pulled back just a little bit. It's at 121.90. It continues to be weak here as we open up. I'm going to keep taking you back to what I just said a few minutes ago. Okay, what did I say? Anybody remember? I said you got to be patient, right? I also said that the futures, what they do is a small little scare tactic. Aren't you all scared? I mean, for the last 3 or 4 days, we just keep going down, right? And so when we open up, it's in their best interest to pull prices back so that you hesitate on a buy. Hesitation is definitely difficult. So, how do we approach a hesitation? It's easy. Find yourself a stop. Okay. Again, this pivot low here is very important. My stop would probably be somewhere under here where I'm comfortable if I'm trying to take this trade. Notice here at the trendy edge, we are finding support. Also notice if we were to back this up just a little bit, there continues to be support in this area. That trendy edge has identified that. All right. So targets to the upside. All right. As long as we can keep these lows over here, I'm looking for 123.42. Notice this is confluent with the EMA cloud on the 4H. This is Apple. I personally like Apple longer term. Okay, so I'm going to give you a 4H look. I'm also going to give you the bigger look at the day, okay? So on the daily, we're inside and down. It's just a chop mess here, okay? And so the bigger picture is we really need to hold this for the week in this area. If we do not, and we start to break down today, okay? Again, you're waiting an hour. If we start to break down, see this little white candle here? And this little candle, this area right here is a very nice level of support. The reason why I say that is because we have some inside and ups here, but not just that. Look at the move that came out of here. Pretty big move. All right, so traders really like Apple in this area. When we run out of buyers, price has a tendency to go back where it remembers people lining up to buy. Okay. Some people will say, this is volume profile and so forth. We make it a lot more simple than that. We just have edges. Okay. All right. So here we go on Apple. My plan for today, one more time before We move on to the next name. I want to see that we can hold the ME, which is here, we call it the monthly edge, at 120.60. If we cannot hold that, I'm hands off. I'm waiting for a reclaim of this pink line, plain and simple. If we start to break down, possibly you move into the 115 area. Okay. All right, let's go over here to trade plans. Let me just check member chat really quick. Mute on Discord. Thank you, sir. All right, there we go. Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. All right. And let's go into trade plans really quick. All right. These are important. I really like these. Let's go into ICAGY. This is a long-term trade for us. ICAGY. Really, really like this. You should like this too because we held it through earnings. It continues to move very nicely. The support is at 4. My next target is 662. But again, my focus is up here around 11 to 14. Okay, 11 to 14, as long as 4 can hold. I'm looking at adding in today. What I'll be doing is making sure that we can hold these levels because I do get concerned when we pass the trendy edge over here. Let me go ahead and zoom in. This trendy edge here, we do have a little gap. So a lot of times we like to come back and fill that gap. I'll probably put in some limit orders right in here, all right, at 545 or so, and hope to get picked up around there. If we continue and break over this high, then I'll probably add in again here. So I got 2 places I'm going to add in, and that's going to be over the pre-market highs and down here towards 545. Okay? All right, let's move on to CHWY, Chewy. All right, Chewy's been getting chewed up big time. I like this name. It's questionable whether or not some divergence is coming in yet. We might want to give it another day or so. My short-term target is going to be back up here towards the edges around 98 to 99. We would be buying this basically on this dip. I don't like that on the daily the momentums went from green to white to red. That doesn't mean we can't bottom here towards this support. If you look down and to the left, you're going to see their support. You're going to see also there's a nice green arrow there saying, hey, this is a nice area to try. Okay, I'm going to give it a little bit longer. Notice right here, we have this nice green arrow identifying some levels that we might find buyers. So again, just like the rest of the market, give it about an hour. If it heads back down, this is where I believe we could get some capitulation overall in the market because people are going to get exhausted. They're going to be like, man, the market pushed up, and now here we are again, it's down. And then you start to get fear, right? And fear sets in, that capitulation comes in, and then I'm looking to scoop up some of these great names at these levels. I see a lot of support in here between these levels, okay, for Chewy. And again, those come in around 75 to 85 in here. This would be a longer term trade. We do have earnings coming up at the beginning of April. And so I just want to be able to identify that and buy that strength, okay? All right, so the next one is AMD. I don't have any semiconductor in my portfolio at the moment, and so I've been trying to wait patiently for something to come to me. We're going to come over here into the monthly really fast because, again, this would be a longer term trade. You can see that AMD monthly candle, we've been down pretty much almost 4 months here, folks. 4 months. This is crazy, right? So what I'd like to see is a rounding bottom come in into, later on in the month. So this 9 EMA needs to hold, and then this kind of come up, and then we'd be looking at April, and then something like this, okay? And then our stop or our target would be around 91. But again, this 9 EMA needs to hold. So from here, if we can hold this level, then really my stop needs to be around 78 and a half or so. All right, 78 and a half. And I'm looking for, if that doesn't work right away, then I know I don't want to be in this. Okay. So then I start getting more interested towards 73 at the bottom of these wicks here on AMD. All right. Now, short-term traders, if you're just looking for a quick buck, which we have plenty of those, you can see here, your short-term trade, we're at the trendy edge. This is a buying opportunity with a stop down here around these wicks on open. Again, wait about an hour, see if we get that pullback into these levels. And then I'm a buyer as we get close to these wicks, and then looking for that move back up towards this EMA on the 4 and also this trendy edge at 81. Okay, and that's AMD. This is the short term setup. All right, long term, watching this 9 EMA over here on AMD. All right. All right, Triple M. This is my last one that I want to talk about before I ask you guys if there's anything you'd like to look at. We traded this, I believe, last week or the week before. Now, listen, this week has been pretty nuts, right? For a lot of traders. Look at Triple M. Triple M doesn't care. This is the honey badger, right? Look at this nice rounding bottom, came down into a double trendy edge setup. You got the YE and you have the ME. So this is our support right in here. All right, so around 174 and a half. This is an AC/DC setup. We do have topping wicks. Okay, topping wicks. Basically, for me, what this says is we need to buy time. All right, every time this thing starts running, it gets smashed right around this level. All right, but we also have this support. So really at the end of the day, I also could put an iron condor on here, and if for some reason it finally starts to break, I can just manage that. Okay. Targets right now are 181, and above that is 182 and 184. Again, I like it as long as we can keep this support down here of this blue and pink line. Really straightforward. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and ask if anybody is interested in trading anything outside of that. If you would, just give me a name here and member chat. Let's go ahead and start there. All right, somebody loves iCaggy. So do I. All right, let's look at NIO. All right, NIO just keeps falling, right? Just keeps falling. All right. On the weekly, all right, this was my concern. I remember when I was holding this. This is why we went short and I had to hedge my long, and I'm out of both now. But right here, a lot of supply being built here. And that's the one thing I did not like about this thing. And so we built that supply, we broke down. We made, I think I made 5 or 600% on the puts, and then I took a loss on the shares. And overall, it was not a good trade. It was just not fun, right? It wasn't fun to stay in. So here we are. We have a green arrow. Price is pulled back into this green box. And at the end of the day, we've been down for several weeks. Whether or not this is going to be support, I'm sure is on everybody's mind. We're at the bottom of the green box at 39.40. This is kind of last ditch effort, in my opinion. If they cannot hold this, again, 1 hour, folks, 1 hour. If they cannot hold this, I would expect this to probably come down. See this green arrow? We got some nice support here. Look at the move out of this green arrow right there. Absolutely beautiful. All right, so if this doesn't hold, look for price to continue moving down. It doesn't have to come into here. It can come here right into this EMA, which I believe on here, this is my 44. So if it comes into here, I would be looking to start potentially trying some NIO again, right? Come back to get whooped up by NIO again. All right, so again, longs, you need it above this pink line. Shorts, this thing continues to stay short if we can't hold this 39.40. Okay. ARKK. Is this a Kathy thing, Dex? Maybe. Did you see my tweet? I said I muted Kathy. I think I messed it up because I muted the word Kathy and I'm still seeing it on retweets. It's like so frustrating. Anyways, yeah, check it out. Is this like their ETF or something? It's coming down in the trendy edge, so you got several different things going on here. Okay, when we have a high time frame trendy edge, which is the blue line, it takes 1 to 3 weeks to develop. All right. You're also at the 22 EMA on the weekly. All right, exponential 22 EMA. There looks like there could be some support in here. I always ask you guys to think about, do we have enough range in order to trade. How do we figure out that range? You guys know how to do that. It's going to be right around here. And now here we are here. So I would say yes. This is some nice range between 125 and 150. It's decent. All right. Just like the rest of the market, nothing changes. Now that we're under these edges, these are resistance. Give it about an hour. If these things cannot reclaim these levels, I expect to come up a little bit, and then you may find yourself at an H pattern, or what I like to call hope. Everybody's hoping it can go back up, but it doesn't. So again, nice support here. Give it about an hour. We'll see. We'll come back to it, okay? Um, the bigger move, though, I believe if we can get over this 1 week to 3 weeks there, Dex. Okay. All right, let's look at ZM. All right, ZM, man, it's one thing when you have the best targets out there, but it's another thing when you're holding options and you come into a target and then it just drops. You're like, well, that's what we do at targets, right? We get rid of positions. Now, where are we? Well, you're in the EMA cloud on the weekly, and I mean, you are testing the bottom of this thing. Just like the last name we looked at, we're at towards the bottom of my green box. Okay, we really need this level to hold. If this level cannot hold, you could see price coming down into around 300. Okay, this may be the level to look for a nice hold. We do have a gap fill down here as well, around 326. Okay, all right. Again, everything. Are you guys starting to see this? Most of you guys have the trendy edges. Um, Everything's underneath. All right. You need to wait, be patient, see if we can regain that traction. And then I think after a day or two, we'll get some confirmation whether or not we're starting to build it inside and up on the daily. And then we'll be looking to go long. Okay. All right, I do like Tesla as well. I almost bought some here pre-market. This is PLTR though, really quick. I did not realize that I got stopped out on my second set of options yesterday. So it happens, and I think I lost 30% on that. That's okay. So what happened? Price came down into the trendy edge. It went bid. It's still in the cloud on the 4H. It's looking pretty good here. All right, it's looking pretty good between 24 and a half and 23 and a half. You really need to hold this level. Same story. I'm going to give it about an hour. If we start to go bid and things look good, I'll get more aggressive during the day. Okay. Let's see. We have about 3 minutes left. Let's go ahead and look at Tesla really fast. All right, so we're up a little bit here. This has come into the trendy edge. Remember, if you're trying to take a trade from this, these are the best areas to try and take a trade on a down market. So you can see price came in here yesterday, right into these edges. This is where we look. If you look to the left, folks, you see that target? Well, hit that. But also, see this? Beautiful. Nice green arrow. Things are working. The first time it came into here, it pushed all the way up towards 850. This is the second time. All right, this is the second time. So it might not be as strong. Again, wait about an hour. Let's see what develops, okay? We got still 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and move down here to HD. Man, today's going to be awesome, right? Are you guys optimistic today? I think we're going to be optimistic, right? I think we need to stay optimistic and understand that this is just a process. This is a cycle of the market. Don't take it personal if you're having a hard time. You're just probably not getting coached well enough, right? That goes for anybody out there. If you need some extra coaching, just reach out. But as far as this is concerned on HD, on the weekly, it's at the ME underdog. You can see that same scenario for every stock out there. It's come into a major level for trendy. Now we're going to wait and see if these levels are going to hold or not. Okay. And we have a dividend coming up. Okay, on 310. Got it. All right, and let's move down here. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. TCIV, SFIX. I mean, man, there's so much there. Sorry I missed you there, Cooler Aid. I bet these are all going to look the same. They all look the same. This is what I love about the edges. Like I don't, nothing is different, right? I think you all know that. A chart is a chart. Uh, what you use in order to justify your meaning for the reason it's going up, you need to understand that it all comes from supply and demand. That's it. Don't listen to the news, none of that stuff. We'll show you over and over that the edges come first, and then you'll see the news. It's always the same thing. All right. No, I haven't went over the cues yet. The cues are down a tad, so our position's probably up. It depends on what you want to do. It was looking a lot better. Um, I'm gonna put these alerts on now. It was looking a lot better when we first opened up this morning down. But let's see, what is this position at? It's at 68%. So if you want to put a stop in, go ahead and do that. I mean, I would. Matter of fact, so anybody out there that's watching, we have two different alert systems. So we have your nakeds and equity and stuff like that, and then we have spreads and butterflies that come in as well. And you can see that there. And because we came into the green box, I'm probably going to sell my cues here shortly, if I can. And that's not. I was trying to see if one of those would work. There you go, 33%. And then we're going to come over here. I want to show you guys the ES futures just really quick um, and give you like, this is really fun to do. So we're at the line in the sand. All right. And so we're going to pull up what's called the PMZ. And you're going to get a box on here on the screen here in a minute. Once Thinkorswim can find itself. Looks like it's frozen. There you go. Goodness gracious. It's no secret out there during volatility that brokerage accounts they start to act a little funky here. There we go. There you are. Slow but sure. All right, so here's the PMZ, folks. We did get a buy signal out of that box. You can see we came straight into for our future traders. We came into here. Now we want to see that we can hold this area. Okay, so we did close our queues. We made a little bit of money on it. It opened up around 70%. Unfortunately, only got filled for 32. Let me go ahead and get out of the spreads. We'll come over here to our live alerts. Just like that. Nice move. It'd be really nice if Apple could actually like do something, right? And remember what I said, if I take something and don't wait an entire hour, I'm not necessarily breaking a rule. My rule is that it goes smaller. That's all. No big deal. All right, so entered small on Apple just to see if we can move. It's so small that if I'm wrong, I don't give a crap. Okay? All right, so we're pushing up towards the top here towards 38.27. Okay, that was our target to the upside from the line in the sand. You're pretty close to that. And let's see, how's our other positions doing today? CCL from our 246 entry is at 335. It's just okay. We did better on it yesterday. But Bub's down just a tad. There we go. So we hit our first target from the PMZ at 38.27. So for future traders, that's a nice little place to trim if you have multiple positions there. 38.30 is that big level, folks. 38.30. All right, so we're coming up on it here. And there it is. All right, so far, the only thing we've entered is Tiger and Apple. And Tiger from our entry is up $1. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring that cost basis down. All right, Apple is at our short-term trim area. So let's go ahead and small trims. Okay, we want to see if they're going to hold here. So watch this. I'm about to click trim and filled. So there's our first trim for Apple. All right, and you can see it's starting to reject a little bit. And so we're in this level of 38.30, folks, is a big level. Um, from this point forward, you need to see on a 5-minute candle. I want to see this kind of settle. I want to see an inside candle, and then I want to see an up candle. All right. So let this one, and let's see, 36. So we still have um, unfortunately, 4 more minutes of this. So we'll see how far we can head here. Okay. All right. So Apple needs over that first trim area that we had, 123.42. We'll see if it can get over that. Amazon's up, a little $37. BA up another $7 this morning. Nice. One of the hardest things to do after consecutive red days for people is to actually pull the trigger, right? That's like one of the hardest things to do. It's like going to the gym, right? Working out. You gotta keep on it to stay consistent. If you don't, your skills are weakened, and it's hard for you to pick up a 35-pound weight, right? Instead of a 5 pound. So you just gotta get in here. You gotta do it. Don't be afraid. Pull the trigger. Have fun. It's just a trade. Okay. And there we go, right here. That's what I forgot to do. Sorry about that. All right. So from our entry this morning, um, we are up $1 on those Tigers, and it's at the line in the sand, just so you know. Okay. So we want that. We want to always take advantage of that. So right here, you're going to see 5.6% there on that first entry from this morning. So we're just going to trim a little bit of that. All right. So our next target, we're not getting that inside. That's okay. We're not scared. We're going to keep trading to the upside. Our next target right here is at 38.43. 38.43. We did hit our second target, 38.33. Nice. All right, how is that ICAGI looking? Time for us to trade some more. All right, so understand because we've been in ICAGI for so long, all right, it's not going to show that it's an ad. Um, and behind my API here, we're only looking back 10 days, so I'll make sure that I let you guys know that it is an ad. Okay, I'm sure most of you know that's been here for quite some time. Hmm, okay. All right, here's that first inside candle, folks. Yeah, Francisco, I just saw that you put something in there. I'm not sure if you're watching anymore. If you are, just let me know. Let's see, 8:29. So that was like 11 minutes ago. Apologize for that. Give me 1 second here. Oh man, the wind's just a little heavy outside. I was really hoping for a nice sunny day. I'm gonna take out the jet ski. It's supposed to be 70 today, but it's a little windy out there. Look at this is a great example, right? We're live here, 38:30. Notice it never went off. That's a great demo of Thinkorswim alert system not working on SMS. You gotta be kidding me. All right. So, anyways, thanks for joining us this morning. All is well. This is what we do every single morning. Go over a list of names here, on the focus and long-term trades. Everything's live from my brokerage account. There's you know, no question whether or not I'm trading something. And we try to keep it as transparent as possible, which is 100% transparent. And I appreciate you guys coming out and checking us out. And if you're interested, check out trendytrading.co, and we'll see you soon.